Testing 1, 2. You can hear me now. I'm such a wombat, man. Sometimes I'm trying to turn on the computer. I'm saying, why doesn't my computer work? And I'm trying to get a picture on the screen. Well, it wasn't turned on. Okay. Hello, Robert. There you go. I just forgot to turn something on, a switch. An important one, too. Okay. We're going to wait. I'm early. And I'm going to wait for the chat to populate. So being that it's you and I, anything in particular you want to talk about or go over? Anything we've done, like the grouping of 12s, the way you counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and is a way to get to 12. And if that works for you, that's great. For me, it don't work. I just like doing the 16ths in 3. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2. So that works for me. So, you could try both ways. Whichever is better for you, that's okay. Some people do it that way. Or like I said before, you can count in triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Well, you hear the accent on the 1. All right, that's the downbeat. 1. That gives me the 12. So, anything you want to talk about, Mr. Robert? No? Okay. We're going to work out the syncopation formulas. So, what would you like to work with from that book? Being that you're the first one here, we could hit up on that. Any requests? All right, you understand it. Okay, good. That was a grouping of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you check out the back of the book where you have the linear concepts, how to develop them? Keeping the rules? I mean, that's not the rules for everything. What is this? Page 10, line 5. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Okay. I think it's the tie that's troubling you. Is that right, the tie? All right. A note placed after, a tie, you can get a hello. If one note is tied over to the next note, you do not play the next note that is tied to. All right, for example, that was line 5. You have a grouping of eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, you have 1 and you play. The 2 you don't play. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll do it slower. Okay, line 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You see it? That's straight up and down. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's just I could write that out a couple different ways, but I'm presenting it to you with the tie, so you become a little bit more familiar with the tie. So that's straight up and down. Swung would be 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. You understand that, Robert? Does that rectify your problem on line 5? Man, my hands are tight. Okay, so it takes, when a note is tied over to a note, one other note, you do not play the note that is tied to. That's just a rule. I could write that out like, as 2 eighth notes, 1 and then eighth note rest and eighth note rest and eighth note rest and. Okay? That's another way to write it. Okay, so good. Anything else? What I did with the first section of the book was I took the straight up and down formulas. A straight up and down notation. Let's go back to that. That was what, page 10? Page 10, okay. If you look at line 1, page 10, it's actually the same as line 5, but it's written differently. Do we see that? Hi, Stacy. Now remember, Stacy's the overseer. All right, but that's the way it is. If I have line 1, the first part, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if I go to line 5, it's the same note. It's not the same notation. It's written differently. And usually, if I have like line 1, it's actually short sounding, staccato, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I go to line 5, the note is sort of sustained, 1 and 2, yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you're a trumpet player, but they're just rules, okay? They're just rules of reading notation. That's all. If you were a trumpet player or a sax player or a piano player, you'd slur the note. The note would be sounding longer sounding. When you play the short sound, the eighth note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it's more staccato. Okay? That was a good question. What is that one? Okay. Stacy, did you happen to check out that Jeff Hamilton song that I showed you? Now, that guy can play, man. He's a great, great player. And what I'm trying to, I'm going to send it to a few other people, because we talked about fills, okay? And I said, no, lead-ins. Well, there's some good examples And when he plays, that he leads the piano player in, or the bass player, or the melody line. He's not filling, he's leading. Okay? All right, let me get a little closer because I really can't see. The guy plays well, man. He's line 3. All right, what's up? The same page, Robert? Page 10, line 3? All right. If you add all those notes up, all right, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 eighths and 2 quarters equals 4 time, no? It's the placement or the value of the notes within the measure that's confusing you. So, if I play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm going to play line 3, just the straight up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now when I get to 2, that takes the value of 2 eighth notes. 1 and 2, then the eighth note again, 3 and 4. You did? Well, if they lift all the restrictions in New York City, we can go see him. How you doing, Marcio? We can go see him, you and Seth and whoever else is going to be here. We can go see him personally. And we can sit and hang out and talk to him. It's not a problem. Not that I ever met him, but I'll take my friend who's good friends with him. You ever hear of Adam Nussbaum? And Tim Herman. Tim Herman is good friends with Jeff. And we could sit there and have a good conversation, take some photos, put them on Facebook, make everybody jealous. Yeah, we could hang out with him. I'd rather go see, we'll go see if he's playing someplace in New York City or close by, like maybe Pensy or maybe even New Jersey. I'd like to go see Mike Clark, all right, if he's around, because they go all over the place. As soon as this thing opens up, man, they had to cancel all their gigs. So one guy might go to Europe, one guy might go to South America. You know, I don't think they're going to go to China, though. But we'll go hang out with them. I can't guarantee that. Only if they're available. Hello, Mr. Mante. What's this? Ha. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Let's wait a few more minutes, and we'll wait for Paul, if you don't come in at 7:30. And we have Dennis and Jimmy. And who else? Oh, Old Dog. I feel bad for Old Dog. His provider, or his web hosting. Okay. Now, Robert had asked the question from the syncopation formula book on page 10. And he sees a few lines that are written differently, but if he goes to the syncopation part, they're all played the same way. Maybe what I should have done, and it's a good thing, maybe I should not rewrite it, but send everybody a sheet on the difference of the way you could write that. If everybody goes, hey, Dennis, hello, Paul. You're on time. Jimmy's the bad guy tonight. Okay. All right. So we said we're going to work out of the syncopation formulas. I was here, and so was Robert, and then Stacy came, and Robert and I were discussing a few different things. So what I need now is some requests. Everybody here has the PDFs. You don't have the books because I mailed them this morning. So whatever you'd like to request, I will try to accommodate you. I mean, you know, there's like 160, 170 pages. You're turning over a new leaf so you can be on time. You're afraid of Stacy. She's the overseer. Okay. Any request on anything in that book that you're curious about, or you want me to start, or because everybody has the PDFs. So let's throw out some requests. Stacy, Robert, did Marcio, Dennis, the best drink in the house and we're in the world is ice cold water. Okay. I'm still waiting for a request. Are we shy? Dennis, Mr. Mante, Stacy, Robert, Paul, Marcio. Please, somebody give me a request. All right, I'll just sit here and wait. I know there's a delay, but it's not that long. Paul, you want to start with page 1? Okay. All right, that's okay. I'll explain to you page 1. It's the beginning of the book, and the next page is 2. Okay. Now, here's how I laid this out. And like I mentioned, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I've gone through, I don't know how many students in my life, and I've gone through all kinds of levels. And I never did turn anybody away. Some were really good, and I couldn't give them that many lessons because they were already there. But the guys that come to me say, yeah, I've been playing 25 years. And I say, what books you went through? Oh, I went through the stick control book. You don't go through the stick control book. You live in the stick control book. I go through the syncopation book 30 years ago. I should get back to it. So I open up to a page where they have a simple figure, 2 8s and 3/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now we all know how to play that. That's not a problem. You know how to play it straight up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Now I say, play it swung. They don't know how to play it swung or swing it. Now you understand it from the past lessons when we talked about when I see you have straight up and down eighth notes, you're going to swing it. You revert mentally to eighth note triplets. And the downbeat remains the same, but all the ands become the da of the triplet. So if I played that first line, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and straight up and down. Now, we're going to play it swung. Again, we go to the triplets. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the boom, janky dang. 1 and the 2, 3 and the 4. A little faster, line 1 straight, swung. Do we all get that? You haven't, Dennis? All right, well, I thought I'd be nice and just send you the PDFs. All right, but do you understand how we make that transition from straight up and down to swung? 1 and 2 and swung. 1, 3, 4. I need some yes. You understand it, Paul? Stacy understands it. Robert? Dennis, do you understand that? Mr. Mante, do you understand it? Marcio, do you understand it? So now that's just the first line. We'll go to the second line, and it's a variation of line 1. Instead of the eighth notes being on the first downbeat, the eighth notes are straight up and down are on the second downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now this is stuff you'll see in the syncopation book, but I wrote it out swung as well, so you could understand the difference. So you have no problems. You always could refer to this almost as a dictionary when you're reading. Okay? So the second line, the quarter note, 1, 2 eighth notes, 2, and then we have 2 more quarter notes, 3, 4. So let me play that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and fine. Simple reading. Now swing it. 1 and the 2, 3, 4. 1 and the 2, the 3, 4. Now there's variations on the page, like from 1 to 6 on the left-hand side of the page. Everything is straight up and down. On the same line, on the second measure, everything's broken down, swung. So you can see the difference. Now, this is just so that you understand it. You should be able to open up the syncopation book to just about any page that's straight eighth notes, straight eighth notes and quarter notes and eighth note rest and quarter note rest and all that stuff, and you should be able to understand it now. Now that's just the developmental process. It doesn't stay this easy all the time. All right, that was page 1, which is simple, and it's going to be a little bit sort of, I guess, what is the word? Is it redundant, repeating itself? Just so that you understand the variety of figures. Right now, I'm on page 3. Go to page 3, guys. Jim's here. What do you think we should do with him, Stacy? Give him extra homework. Anyway, all right, we're on syncopation formulas, page 3. Okay? First line, 2 eighth notes and a quarter. 2 eighth notes and a quarter twice. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We all know how to read it, but do we all know how to swing it? We revert to the triplets. It's written out the next measure over. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. He's going to play the sax, huh? Good for Jimmy. All right, but now this is just a developmental exercise. Don't forget, guys, this is not only for the people who are here. This is for everybody. And believe me, the majority of drummers do not understand how to swing straight up and down. That's why I wrote it that way. So I don't want to be repeating myself all the time, but it's here. This is how the book evolved. Okay? And let's go to line 6. Okay with you, Paul? Okay, Jim, Stacy, Robert? Hoist? Dennis? Marcio? Page 6. Okay, page 6, the last line, line 6. I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 eighth notes of the 1 and 2, 1 and 2 quarter note, 3 and 4 and. Okay, now we go to the second measure of line 6. It's swung. 1 and the 2, the 3, 4, the. Now I'm just breaking them down. Like I said, you got about 10, 12 pages of this stuff. The next move, it's in the back of the book a little bit. We're taking the straight ahead jazz time, bass drum 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'm going to play page page, what was that? 3. The left-hand side of the page. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da. Now, sometimes it's best not to visualize it and play it, but in case you need to have it visualized, it's in the book. Do we all understand that, guys? That's page 3. I want to skip around a little bit because they're all they're self-explanatory. That's why the book is written this way. Straight up and down and swung. All you need to know is the counting system. Straight and up and down for the 8th note, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then for the 8th note triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's written out for you. Okay, so let's go to another. Let's do this. This is for. Let's go to page 16. All right, page 16, guys. Tell me when you're there, 16. Because now we're going to have a tie. Does everybody know what a tie does inside of a measure? Besides get in the way. Now, this, obviously, it's not a melodic instrument. Now, somebody who could wait, hold on, Jim. Let's talk to Jim about. Let's let Jim put his 2 cents in this. Now, a slur and a tie are 2 different animals. So we're not working with a slur. We're working with a tie. So the rule is when a note is tied over to another note, the note that it's tied to, you do not play. It's just a variation of writing, or you could sustain that particular sound. You agree with that, Mr. Jimmy? Because you play the saxophone, and I'm sure you come across that. You sustain, and not short sounding staccato, you more or less sustain the sound. Jim, help? All right. It's just a tie. All right, that's all it is. Jimmy, get in the mood. Okay. So, here's what we have. An 8th, the first line, we have an 8th note and a quarter note, which is 1 and 2. Now I got to play that and, so I have that and coming up and, but the and is tied over to the 3. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You hold the note, you know, if you're playing, let's say you're humming it, bop, 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 bop. Now that's 4 straight quarter notes, okay? Now, if I want to play a quarter note and then another quarter note tied over to another quarter note, then a quarter note by itself, that's one way to write it. I could also write it as a half note. But when it's tied over, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1, 2, 4, 1, 4. It's held over like Jim said. Sustained. Yes, Jimmy? Maestro. Yeah, you hold the note, it's sustained. You hold the note, but the sound is not short sounding, it's long sounding. I think I'm using the correct word, sustained. Yes. I believe so. Maybe I'm not. Robert, is that the right terminology? Sustained? Okay, there you go. You hold a note, you sustain the note, and like Jimmy said and Robert said, you hold a note. But here, it's just, rhythmically, you're not going to hold nothing. You're just going to play it, okay? But it's just a way of writing. You can write out, like I demonstrated, if you have 4 quarters, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you do a writing like on a count of 2, you tie it over to 3, you don't play 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I didn't play 3, the note 2 should be longer sounding. But I also can play it, I could write it as a quarter note and a half note and a quarter note, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we all understand that? What I should do, and it's my fault, I've been really busy, and I have to be honest, I've been doing a lot of yard work recently, and there's a time of day, man, my body says, whoa, sit down, lay down, take a break, you know? And instead of me staying in here from 4:30 in the morning to 11, 12 at night, I'm outside, and I'm playing basketball with my little daughter, and we're cutting the lawn, putting up a few pieces of trim, rototilling a garden. Takes a lot of work at my age, man. Yes, okay. Paul, you played violin. Was that much of a delay? Mercy. So what I'm going to do, if we're going to work, say, for example, on a page like this, I'm not going to rewrite it. In addition to the page, I'm going to give you a couple more variables on how that can be written out as well, a different way. That's all. Okay, that enlighten you that, whoa, that's the same thing. Well, you're going to find when you swing this stuff, because of the tie or the displacement of the quarter note, the swung or 16th or whatever, you're going to find there's other ways to write it. I mean, I could write a dotted quarter note. You know, that's another animal. So we have to take things a little slow. Now, like I was saying before, this is like for everybody, not only the people that come here, but people who buy this book. And I've been selling Mercy. I don't know what happened. But I have to get some more printed out. Okay? Which is a good thing. But there's a lot of people who just don't understand it. So that's why it's written this way. Okay? So I'm not belittling anybody here, you know, with their knowledge, because we're all at different levels here. What is this? Marcio? Where's Dennis? Dennis! Answer Marcio. I see you play the exercise on the drums, okay, and try to copy because I do not understand your explanation, for I do not understand English, okay? Okay. Well, Marcio, buy the PDFs, then you'll see it. You don't have to speak English or Spanish or Chinese. It's music. Okay? Dennis, I need your help. I'm sorry you don't understand English, and I'm trying to help you out as best as I can, Marcio. If anybody knows about this, if he's watching it on YouTube, can he change the language? I'm not sure if he can do that. If he could change the language, then he hit a home run. Where did Dennis go? Dennis, you want to drive again? Let's see, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. How do you say and in Portuguese or Spanish? How does he do that, Dennis? How could he get subtitles? I'm not sure how that works. Can he watch the video with subtitles? I'm not certain how to do that. I feel bad because he's missing out a lot. You can. You say y as and or what's e? E? What is that? What does e mean? And or y and? Uno y two, uno y dos y tres y four y, cuatro y. Did I say that right, Dennis? Una y dos y. No, I don't think you could do it live. He has to watch it in his language, subtitles. I have to research that. The guy's very faithful, man. He's always here, and I feel bad that he doesn't understand what I'm talking about. So sorry, Marcio. EE. Uno EE, dos EE, tres EE, cuatro EE. Marcio, por favor. That wasn't bad. EE, and. Okay. Una EE. All right, so let's go to what's on 20. What did you lose? Let's see. I'm just trying to help Marcio. Page 20. How'd I get to 34? Hold on. Let's see what's on page 20. $18, $19. All right, that's very simple. You should know this, Jimmy. You take a straight up and down figure. This is your reference. Now, I'm on page, that's 22. I'm sorry. All right, we're on page 20, Jim. Did you read the instructions? It says here, now that you have a better understanding between the difference of straight up and down and swung, you're going to utilize this with written figures, okay, to develop, it should not be actions, excuse me. I have to change that, accents. You should be familiar with the level system. You're familiar with the level system, Jim? Full stroke, downstroke, tap, up. Okay? Now, if you look at example number 1, all right, this is with the levels. Down, tap, tap, up. Down, tap, tap, up. All right, now you want to do that with the left. It's not written out with the left. I got to fix this. Thank you, Jimmy. Down, tap, tap, up. Down, tap. You already know that. Okay? Now, go to example number 2. You're going to see up and coming on the left-hand side of the next few pages the figure. That could be also referred to as the melody. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so the way you're going to play that, you're going to play that, a constant eighth note on the bottom. And I'm going to play the accents as the melody. Bop, ba, da, ba, bop. You see it? 1, 2. Okay? If you go to line 2, or the example, line 2 of the example, all right, you'll see a quarter note, and then the notes are swung. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and So what you're doing here is you're playing the triplet on the bottom. Let me take this off snares. 1, 2, and I'm going to take that line, the musical line, the melody line, and play it as accents. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, the 4, the 1. Sorry. I'm doing eighth notes. I'm a cuckoo guy. 1, 2, 3. You see what I'm doing, Jim? Do you understand that? You think it's the key. Where's the key? There is no key. There is no key. You're on page 20, right? Three dots in the top corner. You hit that. All right, I'm going to hit it. All right, I'm not going to do that now. I'll probably lose it. You think it's the key. What is the key, Jim? I watched the subtitle. What are you talking? We're on page 20. You kind of lost it at 20. Not really a question. I kind of lost it at 20. What did you lose? You have to be more specific. On page 20, it's an introduction of accent development with one hand. So what you're doing here is similar to taking it from the stick control book. But now you see the melodic structure written out. And as you practice that, say mechanically, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and eventually you could hum the melody as opposed to counting it. If you go to the next page, page 21, there's no key. It's simple. Come on. Okay, page 21. All right? You see the left-hand side says straight. Then you go to the right-hand side. The underlining is right hand. So you're going to play that line 4 measures with the right hand. I'm not going to play the accents. I'm just going to, like if I'm going to vamp. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. So you're dispersing the workload. You're strengthening the right hand with the levels and the accents. Then you're giving the left hand a shot to develop itself to equalize to the right. Plus now, instead of going 1 and 2, eventually, 1 and 2, 3, 4, you start to hum it. You say, I think it's a key. Aquí. Understand means aquí. Is that what you're talking? You're talking Spanish? Ah, Jimmy, you get me cuckoo. You lost it at page 20, now you got it. I'm on page 21. I hate this delay. It really screws me up. All right, I'm going to research if I could put subtitles in Spanish. Let me research that, and Marcio will get the benefit of the lesson. Okay? What do you think, guys? Got to give Marcio a chance. He's faithful. He comes all the time. He hides sometimes. What is the down tap wrap down? What is that? Where do you see that? Oh, Lord. What page is that, Jimmy? On page 20? Where do you see the word wrap? I explained the levels, then I gave you the symbols of the levels. D, I put an equal sign, downstroke. T equals a tap. U equals an upstroke. The following examples will give you the basic understanding of the levels. Where do you see wrap? Page 20, typo wrap. Where do you see that? Now that you have a better understanding between straight and swung, let's utilize written figures to develop accents. You should be familiar with the level system. That is technique for developing control of accents and dynamics. When performing these next exercises, you need to know what the full stroke or free stroke, a tap, a downstroke, and an upstroke. These are usually symbolized as follows. F, full stroke, D, downstroke, T, tap, U, upstroke. The following examples. Where do you see wrap? Does anybody else see that? Typo wrap. I made the typo. All right, correct the typo. You said you think it's the key. Now it's wrap. Wrap down. Well, correct it. What do you mean, Jimmy? Because I can't see anything there. Now you got me going crazy. You made the typo. Okay. Take your time, type out what you're asking me. The down, tap, wrap, down, up. Why is it there? What are you talking about? Thank you, Paul. Yeah, Marcio is really confused now. Let me try to see if I get the subtitle in Spanish. That would be nice. Marcio, I apologize. Yes, you know what they are, but why are they there? Jimmy, are you feeling your oats, man? I explained, okay, that I understand that everybody here knows what that means, but this is available for everyone, and most of them don't know. That's why it's there. And it's not rap. That's why they're there. Marcio, um, por favor, be patient. Let me go back to page 20. All right, well, you see example number one. There's an accent on account of 1 and 3. And I want all rights. That's what you see there, all rights. However, you see a down on the first right. Then you see a tap on the second right. A tap on the third right, and an upstroke, okay, to get in position to hit the accent on the and. What is the problem? Jimmy, what is the problem? Uh, Lordy, Lord. Oh. You're trying to talk to me, explain to me, and you're worried about Marcia. Marcia's okay. I'm going to call you in about 10, 15 minutes, okay, Jimmy? Now you have me all crazy. Paul, you see rap there? All right. It's only close to an hour now, and between the delays and typos, I don't think we accomplished anything too much. Today's Tuesday, correct? All right, tomorrow's Wednesday. So we're going to do a half a drum pad lesson with the Morello book, and we'll wing it for the rest of the lesson. Okay, guys, it's time for me to sew it up. You guys have a good night. All right, I can see that, Paul. Well, I don't know what the question is, Jim. All right, anyway, I'm going to call you in about 15 minutes, okay? Good night. All right, he made a typo. Okay. All right, let me sign off. Everybody have a good night, and I'll see everybody tomorrow, 1 p.m.